I'll get YouTube up when this does say we are live, even though it does say we're live there.
I'm going to send the link over now anyway.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah, right, so.
Oh, good.
There's that one. Make sure to mute it. Right, hello everybody. We are live.
Just got the link over, so Shanelle will be with us shortly.
I thought you said Shinobi then. Like the former Cage Warriors Academy will be with us shortly. That was very quick, Shanelle.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, good. How are you doing? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good. Thanks for joining us.
No, that's all right.
So we'll jump straight into it. So the last time we spoke to you, Shanelle, was in the lead up to the Four Nations tournament. How was that experience for you?
The Four Nations.
Yeah.
That seems such like a long time ago, but that was literally my last fight. Other than the fight three days ago, the Four Nations. I think it was an amazing experience for me, especially as an amateur. I got to fight two times over the course of a weekend, and I know some other people, they got to fight up to 3 times over the course of that weekend. So I think, especially for amateur, getting out, I'm a huge advocate of just fighting anyone and anyone. And in the Four Nations, you get to do that. There's no pullouts because you don't know who you're fighting until the day. There's no game planning. Be like, okay, this person's a striker, this person's a grappler. It's literally, it's the best platform to find out who's the best fighter, because you're literally going out on a whim and just making adjustments on the get-go. So yeah, I think the tournament was amazing.
Did you like that whole not knowing who you were fighting beforehand? Did that suit you at all, do you think? I
think for me personally, because obviously I've done a lot of Thai boxing in my days and I've done a lot of tournaments, so I'm kind of used to fighting people who I don't know and just figure them out in like the first few minutes of a fight. And for me personally, I don't really go, if you give me my opponent, I don't really go watch all 10 of their last fights and detail down and stalk their Instagram and Facebook and topologies. I'm not that type of person to do that. Like, I like to work on myself and focus on myself, because there's nothing that I can do to change what my opponent's gonna do. Like, for example, if I'm fighting a person, they have like amazing double legs, I'm not gonna base my whole camp on just to defend double legs, because what if they come into fight and they decided to strike for some reason, and I start panicking. So I like to focus on myself, and that's what I did in the Four Nations. I literally just went in there, focused on myself, worked on my strength and my weaknesses, and literally just implemented my game plan from the get-go, and it worked a charm.
Would you like to see like an organisation sort to implement that in a way? Because I know, like yourself, a lot of fighters just like to focus on themselves. Would you like to see that sort of implemented on like a regional show to get that sort of experience that you spoke about?
Yeah, 100%. Because I've had like 150 Muay Thai fights, and a lot of them came from just doing those tournaments. There's not really a huge build up for it, and you're not really going to get any pullouts because nobody knows who they're fighting. Especially in amateur and MMA, a lot of people, they like to handpick their records to become undefeated. You get a lot of stupid pullouts for like unknown reasons, and I think one of the reasons why the Four Nations did well is because you couldn't pick your opponents. You couldn't have a pullouts, and you can't pad your record. You're literally fighting the best of the best. So I think the Four Nations, that's a good way to start up, and I think a lot of organizations should start implementing that and doing that.
Yeah, obviously to sort of stick with that, you know, Molly was a big part of the England coaching team. Obviously, you know, you've went down and trained with Molly also. Yeah. Obviously, the elbow that you found on the night, is that something you picked up from Molly, or was it more of a case of seeing it open?
I'm not gonna lie. When I did train down in Liverpool, end of February, I think it was. She actually caught me. She didn't land it, but she actually, if it was a fight, she would have caught me clean with it. And
Yeah.
I was a bit taken back and surprised. And obviously, I watched both of her fights in London live last year, so that was always on my mind, and I always thought it was a cool move to do. For me personally, I don't even throw elbows in sparring. Like I do in Thai boxing, but I'm not the person that'll come into sparring and wear elbow pads, because personally for me, elbow pads, they annoy me and they irritate me, so I don't really wear them. But it's always on my mind from like Thai boxing days when I do Muay Thai fights. I land elbows, so it's always on my mind. I practice it with my coaches, and literally my coach Ash in the corner, he literally said on 10 seconds spinning back elbow, and then I was throwing my combinations. I heard 10 seconds. He says 10 seconds, and literally half a second later, I threw it and it landed perfectly.
Yeah, don't think you can get much perfect than that. Like, listening to your coaches and then actually landing it, when it's being called for. So
yeah,
it's
good
brilliant
stuff.
So 10th of December last year, you said that you were supposed to be making your pro debut that day, but things happened possibly for the best. Sort of a two-part question. What was the reason that was delayed, and after this weekend, do you feel that it was for the best now?
The reason why it was delayed, I don't even know. Just it's kind of was just like mixed up on I don't even know whose part. My opponent just pulled out for some reason. And she just, I don't know what the reason was, to be honest. And then she ended up fighting somebody else the week before our scheduled fight. So it wasn't like she was injured or nothing. Like she could fight me. She just turned me down for some unknown reason. And then she said she'll fight me next year, but I don't think that will happen because she lost that fight as well. So I doubt that she will end up fighting me. And second part of the question, I don't know. I like to take things positively. Sorry. He pulled out of that fight. I'm like, okay, cool. I just kept on training, kept the same fight camp. I was walking light. I was fit, so I just kept training. Like I had a lot of pullouts last year and throughout my whole career. So it's nothing new to me. I just kept a positive mindset and be like, everything happens for a reason. Everything did happen for a reason. I got this fight and I ended up winning it in spectacular form. So just keep positive.
Yeah. Do you think that pull out happens because she knew who she was facing?
Yeah, I would say that. I think like they say yes to fighting me, then they just look at my Instagram and then they just my last few fights and they just pull out scared. I said that, but then she like, oh, I'm not scared, blah blah blah. But then she ended up fighting someone else and lost. So she was definitely scared.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously, spoke about today. You got the win on Hexagone. The spinning elbow went viral. Everyone was sharing it. You've probably seen it like 100 times.
Yeah, proper.
Could that have gone any better for you in your mind?
For me personally, that was literally the best scenario. Like everyone talks about spinning elbow, but I watched like my performance back. Like my whole performance, the whole round was for me looking at it was perfect. Like I implemented my game plan, my footwork was on point. Everything that I learned over the past few months at GB Top Team and my coaches, it worked in the fight. I listened to my corner. I think I got hit about twice. She even took me down with a judo throw, and I still I don't panic when I was on the floor. My first thought was, oh, maybe should I take her back or do something? But I was like, no, let me just stand back up. Like I was in control the whole fight and I didn't panic. And for me, for my first pro fight, and for me to be that relaxed and to go that way and to even get the finish at the end, nothing could have gone even better.
Yeah. Is it not difficult to say, but does it have you when you said that you've basically had like the best performance, especially starting your pro career?
Yeah.
But it's sort of been overshadowed by the finish. Like, does that irritate you a bit?
Not really. Not really. Like, obviously everyone's always going to talk about the finish. Like, I'm just grateful everyone. Some people are talking about it, to be honest. But I know me personally, my coaches, they're glad that I listened well and like how I performed then. I'm glad that everyone's just talking about the finish. even like my whole performance, I fought for about 4.5 minutes or so, and I don't even get to show like half of what I'm capable of and half of the stuff that I do in the gym. So I'm happy that it gets to be kept secret a little bit longer, so everyone would just think, oh, I just throw spinning elbows and I just throw head kicks and I'm not good on the floor. I want to keep it a little bit secret until I actually have to implement it in the fight.
Is that the reason why you felt standing up,
Yeah,
getting to stand up as opposed to getting a back?
Yeah, like literally the second I hit the floor, I saw her back. I was like, oh, maybe I have to take her back because I'm good at that. I've done it in I do in training. I just like ride people's backs and then choke them out. I'm like, oh, I could actually do that, but I'm just like, what are you talking about? Just stand up. Like, you don't need to do that. We're controlling on the floor. Just don't do anything stupid. I'm glad I did, because if I stayed on the floor, then I would have just rode out the round. I wouldn't have got the finish. So I'm just keeping it as natural as I can until I actually have to change it up. Just keep it a secret as long as possible. If I start showing like my ground game, then no one will want to fight me. Grapplers won't want to fight me. Strikers don't even want to fight me now. So it's just, I don't know where we go from there.
Trying to avoid them pullouts.
Yeah, try to get a
fight. So obviously Hexagone is still a promotion in its early days. Yeah. What was your overall impression of Hexagone?
I think the hospitality was amazing. The hotel, the way they looked after us, the parts going to flying and the traveling to the hotel and back was a nightmare. But the actual thing, the hotel, the venue, the way they looked after us, the venue was outstanding. Like one of the best. It was the best venue I've ever fought in. I think it held about 6 or 7K people. The French crowd was amazing. The ring, the cage was amazing. Just the whole thing is really a top promotion that will grow in the coming years to be one of the best in Europe.
Will you be going back on Hexagone? Have you got like a deal with them? Have you?
I think I'll be back in June, but the deal I have is that I can fight anywhere else other than France. If I fight in France, it has to be with them for the next 6 or 7 months. So I think I'm back there in June, but I'm trying to fight before then.
Yeah.
It's good that you can, still get extras in as well, isn't it? I suppose you're all about the experience so early in your pro career, so the fact that you don't have to just stick with them must be a bonus for you.
Yeah, that's what me and my manager and my coach was talking before, because a lot of top promotions in Europe, they wanted to sign me into like exclusive deals, but I think we just settled on like we don't want to sign anything exclusive, especially in early days. We just want to keep fighting, keep us active as possible, take every opportunity we can and just gain the experience and get the wins ultimately. So in the next year or so, we can sign straight away to a big promotion. Whereas if we signed now, I'll be getting max 3 fights a year. And if something better wanted to sign me, then I have to turn that down. It just gets a little bit too complicated. So we just kind of want to float around. So that's what we're doing at the moment.
Yeah. Like sort of still have your freedom as a fighter in a sense. Yeah. So obviously you mentioned earlier about coming from a Thai boxing background, obviously like you've thrown the elbows, you've thrown knees and that.
Yeah.
How good was it to be able to throw those in a MMA contest?
Yeah, I think for me personally, like obviously growing up as a Thai, and I fight pro Thai. Like before I started MMA, I was fighting pro Thai. So I was used to throwing elbows and knees to the head. And like I think I was kind of held back in amateur, like because you're not allowed to do this kind of stuff. And you can even see like my last amateur MMA fights, I would get into amazing positions to knee in the head or like amazing positions to elbow. But you're not allowed to do that in amateur. And then whereas in pro, you're allowed to do this stuff. So I just think I'm a little bit more free now. I'm not being held back. And even like, for example, if I'm fighting a grappler and they want to shoot a blast double in amateur, you're not allowed to lean in the head, so they're just doing it blindly. Whereas in pro, they're a little bit more hesitant to do that because there's more risk being kneed in the head or elbow in close counters. So I think it favors me a lot more than grapplers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with that, then, do you think that the pro ranks suit your style better and allow you to showcase like your full potential?
Yeah, 100%. Even like the 5 minute rounds, like I almost went the whole 5 minutes, and it was literally like nothing to me. I train 5 minute rounds, and I'm a type of person when I'm fighting, I like to pace myself. So I'm always a slow starter because, as I said before, I don't really like to watch my opponents. So I kind of suss my opponents out the first minute or two in the fight. I like to get my distance, get my range, see what they're about, see what their game plan is, and then start implementing my game plan in the fight. Whereas in amateur, you only have 3 minutes, and that second I get like my time and the stuff, there's only like 1 minute left of the first round. Whereas in pro, I get my time in like the first 2 minutes, and then I start going to work in like the last 3 minutes of a fight in 3 minutes of the first round, which that the timing, it just favors me like immensely.
Yeah. Look forward to seeing more of you at pro then. So with this one, obviously, you mentioned like 4 Nations, feeling like it was a while ago.
Yeah.
So this one might like throw you a bit. Your first post that you ever made on Instagram was back in 2017. There you'd won a British title after taking a late notice fight.
Yeah.
That was 6 years ago. For you, would you believe it if someone told you would be at this point in your career, after that point?
Never, literally. Like back then, I was kind of doing it as a hobby, like because obviously in Muay Thai, there's especially back in them days, there was no such thing as one championships. Like there was, but it wasn't a big thing. It was unheard of at the time. And even like pro fighters, even pro fighters in Muay Thai, you only get maximum a grand or two. So there was no living from being a pro Muay Thai fighter back then. So I was literally just doing it because it was my hobby and I loved doing it. Not saying that I still love doing it, but back then I was literally just doing it because I loved it. And it was my hobby. And it was like strictly Muay Thai striking. Like 4 years ago, if you asked me about MMA, I would have told you that I hated MMA. Like I hated MMA with a passion. I was like, why do I want to do a sport where they just hug on the ground, like sweaty, just hug on the ground, and then everyone's just like, oh, the striking. I'm like, but if you want to watch amazing striking, just watch kickboxing or Muay Thai, which I do anyways. So there was like, I hated the sport, and I was like, everyone just talks about MMA and UFC. I'm just like, but Muay Thai is more exciting. So I would have never done MMA back then, and that was never on my mind. So just look at me now. I'm just like, the journey I've done in the past 6 years, I've improved so much. The people I've met, the things I've done, I would have never expected that. I would 6 years ago, I would have thought of myself at 21 years old, probably in uni or trying to get a job or something boring like that.
Yeah. To sort of go off that then, like obviously with you loving Muay Thai so much, would you have considered like staying in it? Like if the money was good and becoming a name, like, like who you've got in Thai, like Haggerty and Liam Harrison, or that, would you have considered staying in Thai?
Yeah, I think at the time I probably would have, because I turned to MMA when I was about almost 18 years old. I was like at a crossroads. I was in college. They're like, okay, you're gonna go. Do you want to do uni? What's the next steps? I was like, I don't really know. When I found MMA, it was like, oh, I can do MMA because you can be financially stable by doing MMA. But before that, in Thai, just think about Thai. It was like, yeah, maybe I could have became a name in Thai, but I just fell in love with MMA. There's so many different martial arts that you're learning. I'm literally learning something new every single day. Whereas Muay Thai, I've been doing it for so long. It's not like I didn't enjoy doing it. It's that you're kind of doing the same thing every single day. You're just perfecting what you already know. Whereas in MMA, I can if I'm bored of doing striker one day, I can do judo. If I'm bored of doing judo, I can do jiu-jitsu, I can do wrestling. There's so many different points that it's a never-ending sport that like every day you can go to a gym, be like, and learn like so many different things, and I love learning. So I think MMA is the one for me.
Yeah. With obviously having that outlook that you did at the start, why would I want to do that when people are slaying each other? It's all sweaty. Are you like surprised that you eventually fell in love with the sport of MMA?
Yeah, I would, like, especially like in the beginning, it was hard coming from like being the top prospect and one of the top fighters in Muay Thai, transitioning over to the grappling side of things, whereas that you're literally the worst person in the room. You just feel like a fish out of water. It was just like confused, and like you're getting tapped by everyone and anyone off the street, by kids. You're just like, it was demoralizing. But for me, one thing I really like about myself is that if I'm not good at something, I want to get good at something. I want to get good at it. So it's not like I go home, I'll be depressed. Or I'm like, why am I not good at that? I go home, I'm like, okay, how am I going to get good at that? What can I do to be good at that? And I start thinking of ways that I can get good at that. And one of the ways is just literally just turning up and training. So I used to just turn up, get beat up, turn up, get beat up, turn up, get beat up. I'm like, if I can just weather the storm for a year or two, I have to get good at this. And that's what I did. I just weathered the storm and kept getting better and better and better and better and better. Whereas now, I'm so comfortable grappling, wrestling. So yeah.
Keep that a secret for now, though. Yeah.
Like, I will, as long as possible. As long as possible. I don't need to show
it. So you mentioned it a little bit there. Obviously, you're going to be fighting with Hexagone again later this year. But at the minute, what's the next step for you following that big win at the weekend?
I'm trying to get back out in April. I know FCC has a show, April 22nd. Hopefully, I'll get on that. Just trying to keep active, as much as possible. I'm kind of taking a little break off the gym this week. Like, I'm still in training in the evenings, but more casual, just keep routine up and not try to get too fat. But back training normally on Monday and just try to get fit. Hopefully fight in April and then June, and I'll be 3-0 by June, and then something big will hopefully happen.
So have you got a number in mind in terms of how many fights you want to get in this year?
Minimum four, hopefully 5.
Yeah, big year for you then.
Yeah, 100%.
Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to finish off a little bit of fun. Let people get to know you a bit better. Just a few little random questions. So I'll let you go first with that one, Keaton.
Yeah, so it's called Getting to Know You. So let's see, the first one is favourite film.
Favourite film? Oh, I'm not even a huge film fan, to be honest. I don't have the attention span for that.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Black Panther, probably.
Nice, it's a good one. Okay, this might fall under the same sort of category. Have you got a favourite TV show?
Oh, right now I'm watching The Last of Us. Amazing show. But
yeah,
probably Prison Break season 1.
Legend. Love it. Not hardly anyone ever mentions Prison Break when it comes to shows, and it's amazing.
Ever.
Yeah,
it's mad because I think yourself and someone else you spoke to said Prison Break to me, and you were like, yes. Yeah.
It's my reaction every time someone mentioned it. I say it's never mentioned, so always makes me happy.
Next one then, do you have a favourite musician or band?
Favourite musician or band? I like UK music, so I like Nines and Paul Piper, rappers like that, Dave.
Yeah. Are we still listening to JLS? The last one we done a music one. You mentioned JLS there.
I haven't heard that song in a minute. Oh wow! Finally got that out of my head.
Hopefully we don't put it back in then. Let's
No,
move on.
It's back in there now. I'm gonna have to play
it. Don't play it, because you've literally just been saying, haven't you, about airing a song and then playing it to get rid of it, and it just keeps it in there.
Okay. What's a random fact about yourself?
Me. 3 years ago, I could speak Japanese. Not anymore.
What? You were able to speak Japanese and it left you? Like what?
Like, I can't, because I don't practice anymore. So it's just.
Ah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Were you
Can
doing
you
that
remember
just
any
for
words?
fun, or was it like, were you
I
going
don't
over there or
I
anything
don't
like that?
I studied it in lockdown, but like I proper studied it. I got like all the books and everything, learned how to read it. I can still kind of read it. I can still read it, but it's just I haven't practiced in that 2 years.
Can you still recall any words from it?
You're putting me on the spot now. Someone's gonna watch this and just slag me off.
Tell you what, like it's a difficult one to learn. You
Mm.
jumped in at the deep end there with languages.
Yeah, for me personally, I find it quite easy. It's way easier than English. Like if you get the pattern, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. I mean, we're trying to learn Portuguese now, aren't we? So,
Yeah. That's hard enough.
yeah. The next one then, what's your biggest pet peeve?
Ooh. In fighting or just like in real life?
In it could
Either
be,
or.
it's just something that really gets to you.
I don't know. I'll give you a fighting one. When you in Muay Thai, you know when you have to clinch. Sometimes you clinch with like without gloves on, and people just grab your wrist. I'm like, you're not allowed in fighting. You have gloves on. You're not allowed to grab the wrist, or like they're trying not to engage, and they make it K1 clinch when it's like full on Thai clinch. It's so annoying. It annoys me so badly. I'm just like, just clinch, and it's throwing one knee and just circling one knee. I'm just like, oh my days. It annoys me so much.
At least we got one there.
Yeah, definitely. Have you got any hidden talents?
Hidden talents. Oh, I'm a pretty good drawer, to be honest. I can draw like manga, like pretty amazing. Like I self-taught myself how to draw. Like took no lessons, just like draws. Just end up drawing, and I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah, it can be quite like a therapeutic thing as well, kind of, because we
Yeah.
used to do it a bit. We found the websites and just like do tutorials on drawing different things.
Yeah,
And
like I would literally just I drew like my coach once. I just draw like just stuff that pops off in my head, and I just draw like sick characters like with just a pencil and paper and a rubber, and just draw, and it turns out amazing somehow.
Yeah.
Is that something you do to kind of switch off a little bit?
Yeah, I used to. I don't draw a lot anymore because I used to go through like a whole fight camp drawing because like I have to like sketch it and I rub it out and I hate it and I like it and I hate it and I like it. Then I stare at it for like half an hour and I rub it out and I draw and it's like, I mean, it always turns out amazing in the end, but just like stressful.
It's a love and a hate thing.
Yeah.
I honestly thought you were going to say something like, I used to be able to speak Japanese, you know, there's a little hidden talent.
That could be a hidden talent as well.
I've got a feeling this next one will probably call up McDonald's, but what's your go-to takeaway order?
A large Big Mac meal, extra large fries, Diet Coke. I had McDonald's in France and it didn't bang. It wasn't great.
No.
It was not great.
I'm surprised that loads of people always say the foreign McDonald's are better than.
Yeah, I got McDonald's in Spain last year. It was amazing, but France McDonald's it didn't bang.
More like on the restaurants and that, aren't they? Like proper restaurants in France, aren't they?
The croissants was amazing though. Wow. Wow.
How long did you get to spend in France, just sort of looking around, didn't it?
4 nights, 5 days. But we literally just stayed that we wasn't in Paris or anything. We was in Poitiers, and we was really in the cities. We was kind of outskirt of the city, so we just mainly just spent most of our times in the hotel and like kind of like around the hotel.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So next one then, who would play you in a movie of your life?
Ooh, probably the teacher, right?
Yeah,
I met her before.
Have you?
Yeah.
Where was that?
I went to private screening of Black Panther movie #1, and she was there.
Did you speak to her about playing in a movie of you?
No, that was before I even started MMA, I think.
All right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting. And I'm trying to think. I'm sure that. Yeah, I'm sure I was looking on your Instagram and you'd met someone else. Like, can't even think who it was though. Yeah, it's gone. Anyway, last one then. If you could choose any superpower, what one would you choose?
Ooh, just the ability to teleport. That would come in handy like so much. Like people say, "Oh, super strength for like just like I don't know invisibility," but just the power to teleport. Imagine just like teleport here to the gym, here to different countries. It makes life so much easier.
And
Yeah,
you said about the nightmare of flying over to France and getting to the
Yeah.
hotel and all stuff, so it would have eliminated all of that.
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah. I like when we get like the teleport one because we usually get like flying and think
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they're the same thing, but they're different
What if
as
it's
well.
raining? You don't.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, people never take into account the weather
Exactly.
conditions,
The weather, yeah.
the altitude. You know.
Well, as we say, that was everything we have for you, Shanelle. Want to thank you again for taking the time out to
Thank
speak
you.
to us, and congratulations on the win of the weekend.
Oh, thank you.
We can't wait to see you back out there again, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, anytime. Take care.
Bye.
Yeah.
Right. And there we go. Gonna just end it there because you get to see us again later. So, don't want to overdo it.